Where is Slick at when we need him? Oh, he's there. Okay, Slick.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the one and only NBA analyst, the savant, the basketball mind that is great at all things except placing bets. My man, Slick Rick the Bucher.
That's 2 shots, man. He must have lost 2 days.
I had nothing to do with the second one, okay? He cut me off.
Hey, the crazy thing is there's more than 2. He said, Slick, you think?
Oh, yeah, no. He came back to the well, no doubt.
My dog, Slick Rick. There's nobody more brilliant when talking basketball than the man to my left. So, Slick, I want to start with you.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards, 2-time All-NBA second team, back-to-back years, Olympic gold medalist, Olympic starter, only 23 years of age, on his 5th year in the National Basketball Association. Many people would suggest he is the next face of the NBA, that we will be staring at Anthony Edwards for the next 10 to 15 years when we are talking about the game of basketball, but we can no longer look at him in the playoffs because it's done.
Yep.
Finito, finished, it's a wrap. How bad is the series loss for Ant-Man?
It's not that they lost the series. It's bad. But it's not that they lost the series. It's how they lost the series and what we were asking throughout this series, which was, where's the Ant-Man? Like, 3 out of the 5 games, we were asking, why isn't he pushing the envelope? Why isn't he driving this team? And this is the 2nd year in a row where we see a gentlemanly sweep. And I can't even say that this was gentlemanly because what the Oklahoma City Thunder did to Ant-Man and the Timberwolves was not gentlemanly, all right? They took him to the woodshed. And so it's partly I'm not seeing the evolution of Ant. I'm hearing the same thing that I heard last year. Last year it was, well, he's only 22 years old. This year it's only 23 years old. And I'm looking at the other young stars coming up. And you guys know this as professional athletes. Like, you don't hold serve. You're either progressing or you're falling behind. And now we have young stars, the next wave, that are surpassing him. We're going to be talking about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We're going to be talking about Tyrese Halliburton. We're not going to be talking about Anthony Edwards. And I'm just thinking about it as in the mind of a voter for All-NBA, first team. All right? Because at 23 years old, Michael Jordan was 2nd in MVP voting and was first team All-NBA. Anthony Davis, at 23 years old, was first team All-NBA. Anthony Edwards is going to have a hard time making first team All-NBA when now we got Tyrese Halliburton and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander taking that spot. You got Luka Doncic. Like, the competition at the top has increased for Anthony Edwards to move up to where we expect him to go. So that's where this series hurts him.
To me, it's terrible for Anthony Edwards in context. And the context that Slick, I believe, provided is not only did Anthony Edwards in this series not get better in our minds, other people throughout the course of this same time frame have gotten better in our minds. Shady will admit it, that his opinion of Tyrese Halliburton has improved over the last 2 weeks. His opinion of Anthony Edwards, it might not have decreased, but it hasn't improved. I will admit, my opinion of Jalen Brunson, though not playing necessarily a great series this series before, Detroit Pistons, it has improved over these last several weeks. My opinion of Anthony Edwards has not. In context, it looks terrible. But what looks even worse, it was glaring that Anthony Edwards' intellectual ability on the basketball court, it does not yet match his physical ability on the basketball court. When I'm watching the game 1, Ant-Man, you don't take but 1 shot attempt in the 4th quarter of game 1, and I would suggest a must-win game. Okay, fine. It's game 1. Fine. Let's get to game 4. Wait, game 4. Ant-Man, you don't take a shot attempt, a field goal attempt, until 35 seconds into the first quarter. Y'all, the score was 37-30 by the time he shot. We've seen 67 points be put on the scoreboard. And Ant-Man, you ain't even taking a field goal attempt. Then yesterday, I'm thinking surely, viewers at home, he'll course correct. He didn't take a field goal attempt until 6:53 in the first. The game was 11-3 at that point in time. I wouldn't suggest the game was over. Obviously, it was only the first quarter. But you could tell the momentum and the pivot and the stamp that was put on the game was already being put on the game. When I'm watching that physically, Ant-Man might be the most talented and physically gifted player in the NBA at this junction in time. But based upon the current understanding of the game of basketball limitations, it's limiting his physical ability. There's no reason he should have scored 18 points in game 1, 16 points, I believe it was, in game 4, and 19 points in game 5. It's inexcusable for a player of that magnitude.
Yeah, I hear you guys. I don't think this loss is that bad for Ant-Man. I'll tell you a couple reasons why. One is, despite what y'all might say, I think everybody, myself and fans and people that cover this game, will still consider Ant-Man a superstar.
1,000%.
He's 23 years old. He's made some All-NBAs twice second team.
Yes, sir.
I think he's one of the most dynamic players the game has right now. And the sky's the limit for him, right? Now, yes, after a loss, everybody feels bad. That's how it works. That's the human nature. But when we really break things down, what makes NBA and NFL and baseball players superstars is the journey. It ain't always the success. You know, you guys have sitting here and listened to you talk about Michael Jordan. You guys talk about Kobe Bryant, all them guys. Well, yeah, them guys were superstars. It was great. Those were icons. And they won championships. But they had times where they failed. And that's what made their career and journey better. Kobe Bryant, you forgot? He shoot air balls. We made the wrong pick. We got a guy out of high school. He wasn't good enough. Not for this stage. And what did he do? He kept working. He took them losses like Ant-Man did, and he got better. Michael Jordan. Yeah, I watched him drop 60-something points against Boston. We all loved that. They lost that series, and he lost a lot. That's what made the journey so great. Shaq. Everybody loved Shaq. He was so dominant. He was dominant, but he took losses. So when we sit here and we talk about all these players, right, you have to go through something. Steph Curry, he's my favorite player. Nobody's seen Steph Curry being this. They never see that. Yeah. Right? Guy that had bad ankles that couldn't win. Is he even the best guard we have? They made some moves, right? He got better. He put the work in. He took them losses, and he followed the journey, and he became one of the greatest point guards we've ever seen. So when we sit here today, we're going to, criticize Ant-Man because he lost. Cool, I'm okay with that. We deserve it. We athletes, we take it. But best believe he's going to work hard. He's going to get there. He's 23 years old. He has a big future ahead of him. And the best thing I love about athletes is it's not always about the success. You need to fall down so you can get back up. And we love players because of the journey.
Yeah. Well, number one, what I took out the game, it's not too bad on Anthony Edwards. Number one, we got to give OKC some credit.
Absolutely.
They clearly the better team, right? I don't think it's anything Anthony Edwards could have did in that series to help them win that series. I really don't. If he scored 45 a night, I still think OKC wins that series. OKC is clearly just the better basketball team. Number two, he needs another guy. He's not going to win a championship with what they have over there right now. I watched this last game to where he crosses half court, and they ain't worried about nobody else scoring the basketball but anybody other than Anthony Edwards. They are trying to get the basketball out of his hands. Early in that ball game, it was 11-3, but it easily could have been 11-3 Minnesota. My man McDaniels had 4 or 5 shots in the corner, the shortest 3-ball in the game, and he had a chance to bounce it, take a deep breath, and everything, and shoot it because of the attention Anthony Edwards was getting. His second superstar, all-star player in Julius Randle did not show up. It is in the Western Conference Final. He is going to have to deal with Shea and the OKC Thunder for a long time. He's going to have to deal with the Joker. He's going to have to deal with some really good basketball teams in the West. They have to get him another guy over there to help him get to another championship. But this was clearly of Anthony Edwards running into a team that is just better than you. And that happens sometimes. They won 60-plus games because they was just battered than a lot of people this year. And they dominated Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves in this series. I was really mad watching that game, too, before you go, Acho. Sure. He was forcing a lot of shots because he was trying to be aggressive. He wasn't even making the right play at times because he trying to get his shots up at the rim. And I'm like, Anthony Edwards, it's 3 dudes, dog. Yeah. I know you trying to be aggressive. I know you trying to, listen to the people on TV hearing it. But it's 3 people, dog. Like, you just forcing shots up now, and you taking bad shots. He needs more help. OKC is just clearly a better team, and they dominated them boys. It happens like that.
But can't two things be true? Like, what Shady is saying is true, that Anthony Edwards can go on to do great things. Now, Shady is speaking with knowledge that he doesn't yet have, because we don't necessarily know how Anthony Edwards' career is going to end. For every Steph Curry, there's a Brandon Roy. Injuries Steph Curry overcame, but if you don't overcome the injuries, well, then you're just injury-prone.
But we projections, though, because we love in business, everybody does projections.
No doubt.
So projection is if a guy's only been playing for 5 years in the season, he's been 2 times All-NBA, second team, and he's been 2 times, or 3 times All-Star.
Yeah. You would hope.
He's been back-to-back West Conference Finals. You're telling me.
And you watching him.
To your point,
You watching him.
Hey, but he could be Tracy McGrady.
That's my fear. Literally have Tracy McGrady.
Where we look at
But he also could be
individual
Kobe
talent,
Bryant,
you go,
though,
man,
so
he's great talent.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Could be Kobe Bryant, could be Tracy McGrady. The fact of the matter is, we don't know. What we do know right now is that he just lost a series 4-1. What we do know right now is that he just got beat by 30 points. What I'm suggesting where two things could be true is, I think, James, what you're saying is right. Ant-Man needs more help. They weren't the better team. They were severely less talented. But to me, he just didn't do enough to be to be above reproach.
Right.
He didn't do enough to avoid criticism. Sure, his other teammates did not stand up nearly enough. But when I look at Ant-Man, 18, 19, 18, 16, it's not enough. Especially not like he out there dropping 20 dimes. I think he had like 2 assists. So it's not, now to your point, McDaniels was missing shots. He wasn't missing all of them. But I'm simply suggesting
1 for 7 at one point.
Ant-Man also didn't do enough.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other part. What did Ant-Man do that it was appreciably better than what he did last year when he get to the conference finals? When I look at his game, where is it appreciably different? He focused on the three-point shot over the last summer, right? Yeah. He shot it worse in these playoffs than he did last year. And one of the reasons why he's easier to defend than a guy like SGA is because there's no mid-range game. Mm-hmm. It's either I'm going to shoot a 3 or I'm trying to find my way all the way to the cup. And with a team like Oklahoma City, they do 2 things. They defend the 3 and they defend the paint. So you have to be able to make them honor you in the mid-range. And I hope, and look, he has plenty of time. He certainly has the ability that that's going to be his focus this summer. Because what I see is a guy who depends on his great athleticism to be able to get what he gets. Mm-hmm. And the really good players, and I'm talking about the Michael Jordans and the Kobe Bryants, the secret sauce for them is they have a ground-bound game. They get a lot of easy stuff. They get a lot of buckets off of easy plays. Ant doesn't get into the easy stuff, and that's what I want to see him develop. And there's no reason that he can't. Like, I'm not closing the door on him, but, like, each time he misses, no matter how young he is, this now opens the door for an SGA to establish himself, for a Tyrese Halliburton, for all the other guys that are coming. That's the danger
You make a good point,
in not taking advantage of this.
The point that's interesting is last year, Tatum won his first chip, JB won their first chip. This year, either Halliburton about to win his first chip unless the New York Knicks make a crazy comeback, in which case Brunson going to win his first chip or SGA going to win his first chip. To Shady's point, Ant-Man probably got chips, if not chips left in him. But I do know he's about to be down 1 to Brunson or 1 to Halliburton or 1 to SGA.
But just because you get a chip don't mean that you're the better player than that dude. Just because you get a chip.
No, but you have the experience of winning a championship and what that takes. And look, here's the bottom line. This is why I talked about the All-NBA first team. Because, yes, how good your team is going to have a lot of influence on your ability to win a championship. And it's not as if Ant was handed a championship caliber. When we look at this team, like we look at it and go, you know what, they should be playing for a championship. But there was nothing about Ant's game where I say, you know what, he went down swinging. Yeah. If he had scored 45 every game and they lost, I'd be like, hey, you know what, they need to add the other pieces.
Yeah.
But he wasn't that, and he wasn't close to that. Like, there were so many times where I'm like, if you're the leader of a championship team, you need to seize the moment here. You need to come out and dominate this first quarter. And he didn't. And so whether it's something he has to learn or it's some skills that he does not have in order to do that, there is some decided growth that has to happen with Anthony Edwards.
And that's cool, because he's 23, so the growth is going to come. But I just want to ask y'all, before I even give my other take, I just want to ask y'all questions like, watching the game yesterday, right? We all watched the game yesterday. What more he could have did, though? Did y'all watch the D? Did y'all watch the D? Hold on. Let me finish,
he couldn't do any more.
The way they was playing him, even the highlights that y'all showed, there's 1 or 2 guys always on him. So y'all tell me what he's supposed to do. Because y'all tell him about the stats and the numbers, and he should do this and that. And I'm watching the game like, yo, tell me what he should have did. Because the way that OKC was guarding him, Minnesota did not guard Shade like that. So I'm asking y'all, let's watch for a second. So you saying drive mid-range. Look at both the wing defenders.
Right.
Where's he supposed to be mid-range at? 3 ball. I got to the 3 ball because when I'm driving to the left or right, they got guys, now they're about to double team him. So you tell me, guys, because I just don't know, and I need help, because I know you are the smartest guy on this desk of basketball. I know you do a lot of history and a lot of studying. Y'all tell me for a second, please.
You have to be able, Anthony Edwards has to be able to operate at other places on the floor.
Okay.
Than just getting the ball at the top of the key and going at a set defense. I need to be able to have him get to the elbow and be able to throw him the ball there, and he can turn and pivot and operate from the elbows.
Okay. So is that
he
coach?
has physical ability.
So real quick, so I agree with that. Because I say, maybe he needs to score from different angles, right? Yep. So when you said that makes sense. But I'm thinking, can that sometimes be coaching? Because I could put you where I want you at.
But it is coaching, but it's also knowing that you can operate from that place.
Okay. So I can buy that. I
haven't seen him through this series, like when he gets to the elbow, when he gets to the mid-range, he doesn't look comfortable. Like he's looking to kick it, or can I get another step and get to the rim?
So that's something he got to add to his game.
That's what he has to add.
So play him off the ball.
So yes, real quick. So
absolutely. Because that's one other thing. When you see him try to get where he can't and he dishes it, what happens then?
Everybody stops. Everything gets stagnant.
And he stops.
Yeah.
Like I don't see him
I got you.
making cuts. I
Backdoor
don't like
cuts.
they don't have any action.
So that might be the part you were saying about, okay, so I can see that.
100%.
So real quick, and I know we're all on Ant-Man because he's a superstar, right? And even like, and I hear you guys about some of these guys win championships. If Brunson wins one, I still wouldn't take Brunson over Ant-Man. If Halliburton wins one, we're not taking him over Ant-Man. But that could be opinions. I don't know. But as I look at what happened in this series, they did lose, and it looked ugly. But Ant-Man, right? He did average the most points out of the whole series for his team. He did average the most rebounds for his team, and he did average the most assists for his team. So I don't know if that matters or not, but basically I'm saying, yeah, we played poorly, yeah, we played bad, but I was the only person that led the team in all these categories.
It's how good he is.
I mean look, that matters.
I'm setting the bar high for him.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because of what his capability is. And I refuse to say, well, you know what, it was good enough. Because there's so much more potential. I don't want to be satisfied with this Anthony Edwards because I know there's so much more that he can do. And the problem that I have in today's game is the fact that we are too quick to anoint guys as being all that and putting it on their teams and all that. I'm like, no. First and foremost, I'm going to ask of Anthony Edwards because I'm not going to ask it of Jaden McDaniels. I'm not going to ask it of Nasreed. I'm not going to ask it of Julius Randle. He doesn't have that capability.
I mean, and all those is great points. That was phenomenal by you two, especially breaking it down. But my man's team versus OKC's team.
Talk about it, James.
It's not even on the same level. Like we seen Michael Jordan get beat down by the Detroit Pistons for years. That don't mean Michael Jordan wasn't that type of player. The dudes he was going up against, a team, they weren't as good. If you watch OKC, they got Dort, they got
all defense.
Caruso, they got defense. All these dudes that
Will, all defense.
6'5" plus that can guard. You talking last year in the Western Conference Final, the Mavs couldn't guard him like that. This is a totally different team and a totally different defense that they was bringing at Anthony Edwards, which made it extremely hard for him. Not saying at times that he couldn't be a little bit more aggressive, but then even the times I did see him be aggressive, I felt like he was forcing stuff. And yes, I wish a couple of those threes would have failed because to be honest with you, I thought that was probably really his only shot.
Let me say the discomfort I have in the conversation is not that Shady and James aren't right about Ant-Man's talent nor his potential. The discomfort I have in this conversation is if we're going to talk about Ant as though he is one of one, then I just need him to do one of one things. For example, I think it was LeBron's 3rd or 4th year in the league when he went up against the Detroit Pistons teams that was known for defense. Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton. You go against the team that's known for defense. And LeBron, I think year 4 in the league, 25, his team's last 25 points. 25 of 27 points. That team that he was leading with the Cavs should not have beat that Detroit Pistons team. Not a Detroit Pistons team that had just beat the Lakers to win a championship, if I'm not mistaken, 2 years prior. That team goes on to get beat down by the San Antonio Spurs. That team was not all that good. LeBron James in just year 4. But LeBron James, he went down swinging. He put his team on his back. I agree with Shady. I truly agree with James. I agree with how talented Ant-Man is. But given how talented Ant-Man is, I just wanted him to go down swinging.
And I understand.
That's
I
all it
understand
is
what
for
you're
me.
saying, but did you hear? with all due respect to the Detroit Pistons, because they was like that.
That
Tayshaun
defense
Prince
was
could go out
like
and all.
that.
But could you imagine Rick
Larry Brown, the
Hamilton
head coach.
and Chauncey Billups guarding Bron? So that's what I'm saying. Like, these dudes is just as big as Ant moving their feet. Like, the matchups wasn't really suiting Ant. And your teammates ain't helping you. It's difficult. LeBron could go by Chauncey.
But then is Ant as good as you all are telling me that he is?
Yeah.
Because if y'all are saying
he's
that
not as good enough to take down an OKC team by himself. He's not that good.
Not take them down, but is he good enough to give me 30? Is he good enough to give me 32 on a consistent basis? Because if you're telling me that OKC just has dudes that can match up with Ant, then we can't sit here and act like Ant sits on the throne and everybody else sits below him.
You don't got nobody else to help.
It's a team thing, though, Acho.
Yeah.
I can see if you saying, like, yo, one-on-one. Like, nah, it wasn't that.
No.
So that's another thing. When you speak about points, it's like, okay, he didn't score 30. But then let's watch the game. The game is just him going against Dort. That's it. The game is him going against him and Caruso. No. Listen, I love, that's my first sport is basketball. I haven't seen a defense swarm like that in years. And Slick would tell you that. And then as we talk about Ant-Man, he lost his series. He lost, yes. But you act like because he lost, we can't talk about him like he's a superstar. I want you to show my diagram here because
Talk to me.
like a lot of these players on here have had these moments where they haven't done it and they have lost. It's the journey that matters. That's what makes these guys so special.
But
if everybody's comes in the league and is winning championships and that's it, we have nothing to talk about.
So
a lot of these guys, real quick, Slick, a lot of these guys took years and years and years to win a championship.
Yep. But
Some dudes had to leave their team, their franchise to go get some. Some dudes had to go through injury. Some dudes had to get beat every single year like MJ to get there. That's what happens. But we're not going to say they're not superstars.
And I'm looking at a lot of them
Come on,
teams.
man.
The only teams on there that I really could say really maybe wasn't a lot of help, maybe Giannis, Dirk.
Jordan have a lot of help early.
But I mean, Pippen. Them on
Here's
them
the thing,
teams,
though.
they
barely-
With each of those guys, I could take you through their history, and I could tell you that they didn't have something in their game that they added to their game that made the difference. And it was more that they learned how to utilize the pieces around them. And that's the part that Ant is missing the most, in part because he can't operate just anywhere on the floor. You can't move him around, and he can't be the mastermind of your team. And that's the part that he has to get. You said it at the beginning. It's not the physical ability. It's the mental
But you're helping her
ability.
case, though. You're helping her case.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.